come down through here pretty darn
Now what are
strong.
we doing? Just put it on here?
Look at that. Oh, Bruce. First cast, man. Took you to my honey hole. You never know what's going to happen when you try water you haven't fished in a while. It's been many years since I fished here, but the fact that we got a bite on the first cast is a cool thing. Is a very cool thing. And this is a pretty solid fish. I bet you're wondering what it is. Me too, because it could be a variety of things, but I'm kind of hoping. We'll just see here. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. I still haven't seen him. There we go. Now we're looking at him. Now we're looking at him. Bruce, I'll let you do the honors on that net there if you want. I don't think I'm going to be able to pick this guy up. I think he's going to want. Oh yeah. Come on, you big guy. There we go. Now that's a good start. Oh, we get him out of there. Not bad. Hey, my name is Mark Romanack. You're watching Fishing 411. Today is going to be about catfish. And man, this guy is stuck. He wasn't coming off. Lots and lots of catfish. That's the goal for today. Woo.
Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Yakima Bait, home of the rooster tail. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Northwest Ontario Tourism Association, there's no place like this. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2, the outboard of the future, available today. Maxima Fishing Lines, the right line every time. Also, these fine sponsors.
And whenever I fish with the kids and we're catching these, I always get real nervous because they can get stuck in a heartbeat. There's a spine right here, and then there's a spine on each one of the pectorals. And that's why I've got him kind of gripped behind his pectorals. So as long as I keep clear of that one, I'm in good shape. There's not really much he can do for me. But what amazes me is this is just a 2-pound cat, and that thing pulls like nobody's business. They are powerful. They are powerful. And let this guy go back and grow up to see if he can't be a 10-pound cat someday. Well, I think there's some fish here, Bruce.
Good.
See if we can catch some. Well, it's time to let the cat out of the bag. Ha, no pun intended. We're at a place called the Hot Ponds, which is basically the warm water discharge. Whoa, ho, ho. This is not a cat. This is not a cat. This is a whole different thing here. I guess we're into the sheephead bite now. But this is a place called the Hot Ponds, which is the warm water discharge of Carn-Weedock Power Facility. And this is not far from the mouth of the Saginaw River is what this is. It's really protected. It's one of them places where you can get in with a small boat. And as you can see, the action is fast. It's a great place to go just to catch a bunch of fish. Like that, almost every cast. Almost every cast. And it's August right now. In fact, it's towards the middle of the month. But you can do this pretty much at any time of the year that you can get in here. Obviously in the wintertime, it freezes up near the mouth and you can't get here. But in the open water period, you can pretty much get in here anytime you want. That's a good cat right there. That is a good one right there. Let's see if I can bring him over here for you, Bruce. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Not a bad one. There aren't very many places you can go. Let me get a better grip on him so he don't stick me. When you can catch catfish like that on almost every cast. Channel cat heaven is what this is. Channel cat heaven. There's another fish. This one's not going to be as big, I don't think. If I can manhandle this one. Oh yeah, it's just a little guy. What I would call a fiddler.
A fiddler?
A fiddler, just a little guy. And if a guy was inclined, but he wanted to catch, that's a channel cat.
There's one.
Bruce was on one up there too, so that's a double header.
This is a little guy too.
That's a little bit bigger. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of that action.
Can I just pick him in the boat?
I think so. I think you're going to be okay. That's a 10-pound leader on there. You're probably okay.
All right. Look at the long whiskers on them guys. What a caricature.
Very cool.
Wonder what they think that is with that spinner down there, Mark.
Well, this really off-colored water, I think, is a good candidate for an attractor jig, and I think they just see it better. I don't think they, they're pretty aggressive feeders. I mean, they're feeding on a variety of different minnows, and I think that any flash is going to catch their attention. So because this water quality is, from a visibility standpoint, is so low, you can barely see 6 inches into the water. I just thought that maybe the attractor jigs would help a little bit. You want to do another one? Yes, you are.
We are.
I'm feeling a little left out here. I made a cast and I didn't actually get a bite.
Woo!
Carbon copy there.
They like it.
Oh, I can see why I didn't get a bite. I got no worm in there. I did get a bite, I just didn't know it.
Come here, guy.
Additional considerations provided by Argo Amphibious ATV Extreme Terrain Vehicle Solutions. Additional considerations provided by Ontario's Algoma Country, That Real.
Our guest on this week's show was Bruce VanScoyoc, and Bruce is the owner of a company called Anchor Wizard. We've been involved with them for some time now. They make some very unique anchoring systems, not just for the fishing boats like that we use, but also all the way down to little small kayaks, pontoons, you name it. If it floats and needs an anchor, the Anchor Wizard is a way of anchoring it. I feel like a kid here. Well, I can't wait to get my hook back in the water.
I know it.
Sometimes fishing is supposed to be like this. Today is just going to be about fishing for fun. Oh, there's fish. And it is fun.
No doubt about that.
We'll just take turns here. Bruce, it looks like we're going to have some pretty fast action here. Whoa, wow, flying fish.
Was that a
flying catfish?
Was that a shake and release?
That was a shake and release. That one was a little nerve-wracking there. He was coming after me, Bruce. I'm glad I brought that old rag here. I'll tell you what we're going to do with this thing. I got an idea.
Oh, you're going to split her in half?
I'm going to split it in half, and we're each going to have one.
I was using my pants for a while.
I was going to say, these dirty night crawlers here, I think they're going to regret that.
Do that.
It's okay, Mary. This is not one of your good towels.
Oh, this one.
There we go. We're fishing out of a boat called a Freedom. It's actually an 18-footer. It's just slightly under 19 foot long. It's just a utility boat. When I say just a utility boat, I think a lot of people underestimate the fishing quality of this particular model. I like the Freedom because I can do a lot of different things on it. I can fish rivers, I can fish natural lakes, inland lakes. Even on a relatively calm day, we can fish the Great Lakes with it. So the Freedom 180, mine's a tiller, tremendous fishing boat.
He's got one.
Oh, this is a bigger fish here, boys. Good. This is a bigger fish. Oh my goodness, you got that powerful head shake. Kind of wondering what else you can catch in here. There's cats in here, obviously. We've already been showing that. There's sheephead. Certain times of the year you catch walleye in here. There's smallmouth in here. Obviously there's carp as well in here. That might be what I'm into here. We'll see if it's carp. But there's lots of different species that can be caught in here throughout the course of the year. Let's see what this guy is. Oh, it's a lot more. Oh, this is just a big cat. This is just a big old cat.
Is this a big cat?
It's a big old cat.
Yeah.
The power in these fish is just amazing. And then we're also...
Oh yeah, that's a big cat. Look at that.
We got a relatively light setup here. I'm fishing with a medium action Okuma. It's a 7.5 foot deadeye. And I just got 10-pound braid on here with a little fluorocarbon leader. And so I can't exactly bulldog him. He goes where he wants to go. That's a nicer fish right there. Do they pull?
Yes, they do.
Every time I try to get him a little closer for you, Bruce, he pulls out more line. If I can keep his head up on the... Barely fits in that net, doesn't he?
I better hit this right.
Look at the hole in that thing's mouth. The size of him. Man. This is a little toad here. He's got something going on with his head there. I don't know what he's got going on here. You get a better grip on him here. That is a toad right there. Can't believe how strong they are. Unbelievable power these cats have. Bruce, I'm going to put this puppy back. It's a two-handed operation here. There he goes. Wow. If a person's going to go to the hot ponds, you could expect to catch a multitude of species. Now, we knew we were going to be getting primarily catfish, and that's what our primary goal was. But depending on the time of year you go, you can catch a lot of walleyes. We also caught smallmouth. You can catch a variety of other species like white bass. If you go in the springtime, there's an awful lot of white bass in there as well. So depending on what time of year you go is going to dictate what you're going to catch in the hot ponds.
Additional considerations provided by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate. Fishing 411 is also brought to you by Okuma, High Performance, and Mustang Survival. We save lives for a living.
Anytime we're on the water salmon fishing, we're always concerned about water temperature. You won't find a fish species that's more concerned about the water temperature it likes to reside in. Salmon like water temperature about 44 degrees to about 55 degrees. And if you can find that temperature of water, there's a very good likelihood you can also find salmon. Well, the water temperature on the surface is only of minor interest to us. What we want to know is what's the water temperature down at the depth where the fish are. If you're going to do that, you need a device like the X4 here. The Fish Hawk is a device that mounts to the downrigger. It's a probe that mounts to the downrigger. We send it down to depth, and then it sends us up these readings. Now, this reading on the top is 47.2. That's what the surface water is. That next number, 44, that's the depth at which we're fishing right now. 44.3 is the water temperature at depth. So you can see that there's about a 3-degree difference in temperature as we go down. And then that bottom number, 1.7, that's our speed. We actually need to adjust that and go a little bit faster. We want to be closer to 2.0. So we'll monitor that really closely, and if necessary, kick up the kicker motor just a little bit to get that 2.0 speed at depth. That's what we like to see. Oh yeah, oh yes. That's a big kitty right there. That's a big kitty. That's exactly what
you just don't pull these guys around, do you?
See, a lot of folks will fish cats, but with heavy gear, and it takes a little bit of the fun out of it. I mean, that light spinning tackle, look at that rod just doubled over.
It's fun with this light tackle, isn't it?
I almost brought my steelhead rods today, Bruce. Wouldn't that have been fun?
Yes, it
would. Fight these on light action steelhead rods. Look at the bend in that rod. Holy smokes.
Wear them down.
Oh, that is a big fish right there. That one's pretty. My big one was all kind of scuzzed up on the top. This one's a gorgeous looking fish right here. There he swam right into the net. I think that's the only way we're going to land him. He committed cat suicide.
He's full of spunk.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice fish right there.
Now
Look
we have to figure out
not
how
a mark on that fish. How beautiful is that?
Handle him.
That's a real good one right there. Yeah, you won't catch a fish on spinning gear that fights any harder than that.
They are all muscle.
We're using night crawlers for bait today, and I have a lot of faith in that. As you can see, it's working extremely well for us. Another doubleheader, Bruce?
Yeah.
But there's other baits that you could use for this. You could be using live minnows, you could be using dead minnows, cut bait style minnows. I'm even willing to bet that you probably could get them on just soft plastics today, they're biting so well. But cats are a fish that definitely like live bait, and so live bait is going to be your best way to go here. If you've watched a lot of Fishing 411 episodes, you notice that we don't anchor often. But there are certain applications where anchoring is the only practical way to fish. For example, when we get into rivers and we're targeting steelhead, or in this instance in the hot ponds, we were dealing with flowing water and these fish were all concentrated in one small location. Anchoring was the only practical way to do this, and the Anchor Wizard is the best way to anchor any fishing boat. What I've got here mounted on my boat is an Anchor Wizard, and this is called the tiller system. Well, what's the tiller system? What the tiller system is, it allows you to take the wheel and mount it anywhere in the boat that you want. You can mount this near the back of your boat, and the reason I would recommend that is that you can operate your boat from the back, you can operate the Anchor Wizard from the back. When you're anchoring, particularly in rough water, the last place you want to be is on the bow of your boat. It's very uncomfortable up there. That's the roughest part of the boat. So to anchor from the back of the boat using the Anchor Wizard is ingenious, and it works really good. Super simple. Just turn the handle forward to reel line up, turn the handle back to release the spool, and let line free spool. Doesn't get any simpler, doesn't get any better than the Anchor Wizard, and this is the tiller system.
Additional considerations provided by Striker Brands. Give Mother Nature the cold shoulder. And Bait Rigs Tackle, America's innovator of fine fishing products. Fishing 411 is also brought to you by Fishhawk Electronics, featuring Fishhawk's Catch Fish Guarantee.
You know, despite the fact that the hot ponds produces awesome fishing, I rarely find anybody fishing there. It doesn't have a lot of fishing pressure. So you can go just about any time and expect that you're going to be able to get a spot to fish. There's about 1/8 of a mile of navigable waterway that you can fish there, and that's enough for several boats to fish. And while we were there was just ourselves and 2 other boats. Everybody is catching fish, having a great time, plenty of room. Wow. If you're going to put braid on your fishing reels, for casting applications, I'd strongly recommend a fluorescent version like what I've got on here. The bright colors make it easier to see the line, and even though braid is low stretch and you feel the bites much better, sometimes you see the bites by having the line twitch, and I really like that. And the older you get, the more you'll agree with me. If you're young enough that your eyes are good enough you can see ordinary line, hallelujah. At my age, I can't see that line anymore. And so I find that by switching the braid, and then also by switching the fluorescent braids, that fish just doesn't want to cooperate, does he? It makes a big difference in my ability to detect strikes. All right, we're gonna put the muzzle on him, come on. There, you got that ego extended full out there. But he's been caught before, so catch and release. Oh, ooh, that was a big splash. What we got here, Bruce?
This is a cat. I did see him. He is a cat, but I don't know how big. For a minute. Oh yeah.
Wow, I got a feeling this is
pretty
gonna be a good one. I'm going to the net here. You stay on him and I'll.
Spunky. He's full of it.
Feel like a kid again. I needed this today, Bruce.
Yeah,
Just some fun fishing.
This is fun. All right, here we go.
There we go. Nice fish, Bruce.
Full of energy. That guy was full of it.
One of the things, Bruce, about this area, geographically, the primary bait fish here out in Saginaw Bay, there's one, are emerald shiners. In emerald shiners like relatively clear water, they do really super well out on Saginaw Bay. In here, I believe that the forage that they're feeding on are gizzard shad. Now, gizzard shad like a little bit more color in the water, and that's what we got here. And they need that extra plankton. So I think what these fish are feeding on are gizzard shad. That's what I think is in here. And you really notice it in the fall. When you come up in here in the fall when the water's cold, you see a lot of gizzard shad up in here. You see them busting the surface. I got a toad on here. I can't even budge them off the bottom.
How big a gizzard shad?
Well, some of these gizzard shad, you're going to see them eating size in here, which are 2, 3, 4 inches long, but they also get huge. I've seen them 4 or 5 pounds. So, gizzard shad do get much bigger than what you would associate as being just forage.
So they reproduce and create a good food chain.
Yes, they do. I got about as much pressure on this fish as you can put on 10
We haven't
pounds.
seen him yet, have we?
No, I haven't even got even a glimpse of him yet. But he is definitely either more athletic or definitely the biggest fish I've had on today.
Come
Just not giving me a
on,
chance to
50-pounder.
get a look at him.
Come on, 50-pounder.
I don't want to put too much pressure on him because I don't want to break. Oh,
Ooh,
he is big.
That looks like a nice cat.
He is big. This is a good cat right here. So we'll just take it easy on him, keep a tight line on him, let him tucker himself out. It's one of the reasons I like these longer butts on these rods. I can actually tuck it into my belly and control these bigger fish. Most spinning rods are such short butts on them that you can't do that. This fish has got my arm just throbbing here. I feel like I'm doing curls with my arm here. This is as big as that steelhead. Let's do. Oh, look at that. Oh man, I can't keep his head up, Bruce. Every time I try to keep his head up, he... Look at that.
We're in.
That is a big fish.
Yeah, that is a nice catfish.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Oh. Woo-hoo-hoo! That one is a big one. I can't even get my hands around it. Let's see what I can do here to hold it up. That is a stud muffin. Hey, my name is Mark Romanack, and you've been watching Fishing 411. You want some great catfish action? Check out a place called the Hot Ponds near the mouth of the Saginaw River. You'll catch fish like this, and you'll be glad you did. What a wonderful fish.
Closed captioning is provided by Orca Coolers, built for everyday use and total abuse. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Yakima Bait, home of the rooster tail. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Northwest Ontario Tourism Association, there's no place like this. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2, the outboard of the future, available today. Maxima Fishing Lines, the right line every time.
Don't cast too high, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, keep the cast to a low trajectory.